It's been a while, old chap. Well, it's been about 24 hours since I last saw you. Just over.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Hey, it was a good day. A good day was had by all. I have to say,
It
I
was a
enjoyed
good
it.
day. For those of you joining us, please don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already done so, and please make sure you hit that bell icon to be alerted of any new content we add to the channel. And always, we thank you very much indeed for your support. So this is the evening after the afternoon before. I think I've got that right. West Ham United 2, Everton 1 in the Premier League at London Stadium. Match day 31 of 38. It wasn't the prettiest of games, but I think, do you remember Ian Holloway when he was questioned when he was QPR manager, and he turned around to the reporter and said, sometimes games they're like birds, and sometimes they're stunners, and sometimes they're not the best. But you know, and he tried to make this analogy that sometimes.
Yeah, I know the one you're on about.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure your impressions are getting worse.
Are they?
The longer I know you.
I need to work more on my West Country accent, don't I?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a couple of people that are going to end up watching this that might not appreciate that that impression.
Oh no!
I do believe one of which celebrated his birthday the other day.
He did.
So
he did.
A couple of happy birthday shout outs. Then, if we're going to do it,
got
one for Mr. Cox. He turned an age. No, I'm not going to rant him. And I also want to say happy birthday to Trevor.
Trevor, yes.
Happy's father. I met him for the first time. I think he does. I do think he said that. I met him for the first time yesterday. Genuinely nice bloke, actually.
Yes.
I really had a good couple of conversations with him, especially one as me and Grace were leaving the pub last night and went the wrong way, another wrong turning, ended up down a private road for people that were delivering stuff into the aquatic centre, apparently. So we had to come all the way back round up the side of the aquatic centre and back over that way. So
there you go.
But hey ho.
You were lucky enough to be there, which is not something that, sadly, because of the job that you have to do to earn a crust, is not something you normally able to do. But I think, was it your third game this season, wasn't it?
Third game this season, which has probably been the most games in a season for at least 7 years. Well, I'm obviously working over at the Ball with Green King, so certainly a significant, 3 games is a good number for me of games to get to, really. But I had the pleasure yesterday of taking Grace with me. For those who don't know, Grace is my 17-year-old daughter. We don't get to do a lot together because obviously she's 17 and her dad's an embarrassment.
Yeah, I get that.
And I certainly was at points yesterday after several of the alcoholic beverages that we partook in yesterday, Roberts.
Yes.
But she really enjoyed herself, and on the train on the way home, she actually asked if we could go again this season.
Oh, brilliant!
And go a lot more. So I'm going to have a look at what games go on, if any home games get on the general sale. I was talking the Arsenal, I think, and Burnley. Is it Burnley? I think
Burnley's the next home game. Yeah, it's a fortnight.
So we're going to have a quick butcher's online tomorrow and see what's available. So we can, like I say, she wants to go again. So made me a bit of a proud father at that moment in time because she did enjoy herself.
Good.
And it was good, and it was nice for her to get to meet a few of the people that obviously we talk to on a daily basis as well. And she was, made to feel welcome by Happy and a few of the others there. So it was nice to see that she was involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Hammerhead. Thanks for joining us. Should we get straight into it, matey?
Yeah, just quickly. Due to whatever is going on with StreamYard this evening, for me, I have no access to anything right now, so I can't even see the chat down the side.
No.
So if anyone says hello, you're going to have to put them up on screen. Any comments,
okay,
it's not going to have to go up because I can't see bugger all.
Okay, mate, no problem at all. Okay, let's add this to the equation, go full screen with it, and get rid of that banner at the bottom. Okay, so that was the starting lineup as put out by David Moyes. Probably the one thing that surprised me, other than sort of like the goalkeeper, the defense, or 3/4 of the defense, and the rest of the outfield division. Ryan Fredericks was deployed at right back. I'm not entirely sure exactly what the problem was with Ben Johnson, but he wasn't even on the bench. But other than that, it was pretty much just what we was more or less expecting. Jared Bowen made his return to the first team, and to good effect, it seems, Duke. He obviously got the winner.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I was surprised a little bit to see Fredericks start. I was standing there talking to Grace while we were at the Heineken bar outside the entrance there, and we were having a conversation. I was going through, and I didn't understand it. Then as the game progressed, I think he pretty much had a tight leash on Richarlison out there. He seemed to be doing a job. So, you know, as much as it was unexpected, it had the desired effect. He kind of shackled him. I have to say, I wasn't impressed with Richarlison yesterday. I was impressed with a lot of the Everton players yesterday, to be honest with you. But
Probably explains why where they are.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only surprise for me. I mean, Bowen, I didn't think would start, but if he did, what would happen happened, and he went off after, I think it was 69, 70 minutes. So again, you know, save him for Thursday. Sorry. But yeah, no. All in all, it was a very predictable lineup. You know, with a change to not necessarily formation, but you know, placement of personnel for the second half due to, you know, what I consider to be a relatively quiet first half. I made the comment yesterday about it due to being goaded by some people in a chat on West Ham Network. Goaded by Mr. Russie B, Mr. DJ, into making some comments due to me having a dislike, apparently.
Evening, Wally.
For a certain West Ham player. But, I mean, Benrahma started in the middle, and to be fair, I thought we had a bit of a quiet first half. When they came out for the second half and they actually put him out on the left, I actually thought he was more effective out on the left. You know, coming inside, and I've said this a few times, I think he's better off playing out on the left than he is in the hole, because he likes to cut in on that right foot and go for the top bins. Whereas if he's in the middle, it's a lot more difficult. There's not a lot of space for him.
Yeah,
and you know, to cut in and try and find that in and around the edge of the box, it's a lot harder for him coming in off the left. He certainly looked a lot better in the second half than he did the first half. But again, as I've mentioned before, there was a minimum of 2, possibly even 3 50-50s that he bottled. Everyone around me sat around where I was, absolutely lost their shit, screaming, shouting, swearing, a few unsavoury words being banded around because he pulled out of them. And I know people say that he's not one of them players. You know what? He keeps pulling out of these challenges, and people are going to turn against him. The fans will turn against him if he keeps pulling out of challenges, especially if he pulls out of a 50-50, they go down the other end and put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be your issues. I mean, he got away with the ones yesterday. We still get the win. And as you said yesterday, if he pulls out of a 50-50 and then, you know, 3 minutes later he goes and sets up what could be the winner, is he going to be forgiven? Yeah, there might be some that will, but people are still going to remember him pulling out of these challenges. And like I say, if he's going to continue to do that, people are going to turn against him quite quickly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But, I mean, he wasn't, to be fair to Said Benrahma, he wasn't brought in for his tackling ability. He wasn't brought in because he's the next Patrick Vieira or Roy Keane. He was brought in because of his offensive talents.
And I will use
I hear what you're saying.
I will use the same comment as I said to you when you first brought that up, when you first said that. Neither was Fornals. Neither was Pablo Fornals being brought in. He was brought in as another, you know, tricky, magician-esque type player. You only had to look at what he did for the under-21s in the Euros. He was possibly one of the best players in that Spanish side. He wasn't bought for his. He was bought for his mercurial talents. He wasn't bought for his tough tackling and the hard graft that you now see Fornal was put in. He's developed that over the last couple of years under Moyes, and I'm hoping Ben Rama will do the same. I really am hoping Ben Rama will do the same because, I think if he could add that string to his bow, I think you'll see a significantly improved player next season.
Yeah.
Really do.
Just in answer to that question, Hammerhead, yes, we will get to player ratings down the track. But that's to be on its way. Okay, so that was the West Ham lineup that was put out. Let's also, for a little bit of balance, go and put out the Everton lineup. Let me just get rid of that full screen. There we go. So Frank Lampard put out Jordan Pickford in goal, a back four from left to right of Michaelenko, Godfrey. The captain was Michael Keane and John Joe Kenny. He went with a midfield three with Mason Holgate, who really by trade is a centre-back. Played him as the holding midfielder with Alex Iwobi and Decore either side of him. And then the offensive three was Richarlison left, Gray on the right, Calvert-Lewin through the middle. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
I did think that there was a significant amount of pace in that side. I mean, Iwobi he's a fast player,
Mr. Walsh.
And from what I saw, when he was at Arsenal, I now think Everton have been kind of duped. I think he's been kind of duped into. Oh Jesus, go on, Palace.
That's
I think
nice.
he's been kind of duped into paying £40 million for a dud.
Yeah,
if I'm honest with you.
Elliot.
But when I saw that, I thought, Christ, there's four players there that have got a significant amount of pace in that forward line. Richarlison, he's not slow. He's quick. Calvert-Lewin's quick. Gray.
Peter.
I mean, I would have loved Gray. How much did they get him for? Was it something like stupid, like £2 million quid?
Yeah, I don't even think it was 2 million. I think it was like 1.7 or something like that.
Some sort of daft ass money, and then, like I say, you got Iwobi in there, and mate, I'll be honest, I was a little bit concerned with that. Like I say, the pace of the four when you consider that Dawson, he's one of the ones they're coming up against. Cresswell is one of the ones that they're coming up against. I'll be honest with you. I know you said some birds are fit and some birds aren't in relation to the kind of game we had. But I don't think they, apart from the goal, and I know you and me did a little bit. Hey, mwah.
She is.
Apart from the goal that they scored, and you and me did the quick bit on the match vlog, didn't we?
Yeah.
I don't even think we were troubled by him. I think
that's good news.
Cresswell and Fredericks were comfortable with the two of them. Calvert-Lewin didn't pose any problems for either of our centre backs, and their midfield just really, we were quite happy to let them have the ball where they needed to have the ball, where it wasn't going to damage us. But again, there was a few occasions where our centre backs turned into Roger Johnson, and they just love to back off. Next thing you know, they're standing in row H of the stand behind the goal, and you're like,
hope you're feeling better, Mr. Miles.
Mr. Miles, hope everything is well, sir. But no, I'll be honest with you, mate. There's a reason they are where they are. And listen, we weren't great yesterday, and we did enough to get over a line, but we were playing a very, very poor Everton side.
Yeah, I don't think that we to be honest, after an international break, we have a habit of coming back and looking a bit sluggish. Even if we actually manage to get a victory, I can't remember the last time we came back from an international break and put in a performance that really sort of like looked like we'd sort of come back all guns blazing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not. I can't think of the last time it happened. You can ask us anything you like, Elliot, but depending upon the question, like, I don't know, sort of what's my home address, or what's my phone number. I might get a little bit.
As I say, you might not get the answer you want.
Yeah. But no, you can ask anything you like, Elliot. Not a problem. Crack on. Hi, Sharky. Yeah, I think that we laboured. I mean, as I said it in the pre-match, didn't I? That I said I thought this would be a game that wouldn't be very pleasing on the eye, and that it would be a little bit of a slugfest. So it proved, but they're not a very good team, and we saw it yesterday. And Kent said it earlier. If I just wind back there, should have won by more yesterday. Poor finishing, but then again, they had opportunities as well. I mean, that opportunity in the first half, I think it was at 0-0 when it was Richarlison took the ball round Fabianski, and all right, you could turn around and say, but the reason that Richarlison had the opportunity was because of a lapse from Ryan Frederick. But to be absolutely fair to him, he recovered well to stop what would have been an absolutely certain goal. If you know, and who knows how that game might have turned out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there were a couple of times that they
that's the question. He's asking, is Everton going down?
I think they're banging trouble. And you've got to think Newcastle have just come off the back of some really difficult games. It's always a pleasure, Happy. I mean, not meeting up with you having no voice is always a pleasure. No, it was good to see you yesterday, babe, as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're certainly more of a handful when you've had a drink than you were when you came to my pub the first time round and you were sober. So, I forgot what I'm saying.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
No,
we'll just crack on with it. Anyway, so I got a little bit of bonus footage for you.
Go on, then.
Do you want to see the free kick?
Oh, the free kick was special, wasn't it?
I've got the free kick. It was on the vlog, and if anyone hasn't seen the match vlog, this is like a 50-second clip that's part of the match vlog, which lasts about 24-25 minutes. It's on the channel. After you've finished here, please go and have a look. You can see me and Duke at the end doing a little post-match analysis, and Happy even makes an appearance. So there's what's not to like. Anyway, here we go. There you go. Little bit of bonus. Apologies for the industrial language. If there's any children, it's before 9 o'clock. But
I called it. I called the goal from the second we got the free kick. I sat there and went to Grace, my daughter. I went to Cresswell, number 3, Cresswell. He's gonna ping this left-footed, top right-hand side of the goal, nearest to us. He's gonna put it top bins. Bloke behind us turned around and went, it'll be Cresswell, but he's gonna go across the keeper far side. I was like, no, he's gonna go near post. It's going top right, bins, go on, and bang, lo and behold, in it went. And it was I mean, he wasn't far off with the one in the second half, Rob, either, was he? That was only maybe not even a yard. I mean, listen, we know he's capable of it. He did it against United a couple of years, last year, year before. So we know that he's got all of the, he's got all the talent in the bag to be able to do it. But to see him do it, he makes it look so easy. Pickford was nowhere near it, despite diving all the rest of it. He was nowhere near it. And no, it was just absolutely fantastic. I mean, it was a really good goal. And some good build-up play for the free kick as well. I've got to say there was some good interchanging and all the rest of it.
So we obviously went. If I would say no, but I wouldn't say that Chris Sutton was the best striker I've ever seen either.
Hey, listen, he started out as a centre back.
He did, yes, that
and
is
then
true.
He was part of the SAS that obviously when Blackburn. So yeah, I know I'd like Sutton. If I had to, I'd pick him over Pookie.
Yeah, that's fair. Obviously, as I say, that goal there put us 1-0 up, which was how it was at half time. And I do apologise, Mr. Walsh. I apologise if that has upset your delicate little lug holes. Thank you very much, Trodge. What was it? It was hang on. It was on the 53rd minute, so fairly early in the second half. And you'd actually come up to me at this point, hadn't you? And we was having a little chat. And then lo and behold, as we're talking, Fabianski, I mean, was it a weak punch? I mean, you seem to think he got blocked off. I mean, if you had a chance to see it on the highlights, since are you still of that opinion?
I recorded the game. It was on Sky at 3:00 this afternoon.
Okay.
So I've recorded it and I chucked it up on the telly while it was on. And I've watched the goal back and it is a weak punch.
It's a 2-0, by the way.
And I've seen free kicks given to goalkeepers for that.
Yes.
I've seen it. I've seen them get free kicks. And then I kind of watched and I'm just like, dear God, it's, again, we've said it on this channel many times, Rob, it's the consistency side of things. It's a free kick in every other game in the in the Premier League on Saturday. Again, 2 corners I watched, and I watched a bit of wrestling from the there you go. Wally agrees with me.
Wally agrees with you.
I said I think he was blocked off as he come for it, but if a goalkeeper's going to come, he can't expect. And again, we said this last year. Goalkeepers can't always expect to get the protection of the referees if they're going to come. So if you're going to come for that ball to either punch it or to make a catch, you've got to make sure that you clear out everything else that stood in front of you to win that ball. Because listen, goalkeepers are favoured in those situations when it comes to if a goalkeeper's blocked off, it's a free kick. But because he actually got there and he kind of got a punch to it, he wasn't completely stopped, if you want. So the referee obviously allowed play to go on, and resulting from that was obviously their goal. But again, just quickly going back to, refereeing decisions from, previous games, you look at the Liverpool penalty yesterday. Sorry, Saturday. Have you seen it yet? Please tell me.
I still haven't, but I know.
In the neck. That was very aggressive. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm used to it.
I know you're married to a spud.
Exactly. Yeah.
We could have had 3 penalties yesterday on some corners if that Liverpool one was to go by. The wrestling, the jostling, this, or the arms holding a player in like they're some sort of cattle pen. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. But again, it wasn't that they didn't deserve it, but it was a weak goal for us to concede, and I think it stemmed from Fabianski not having the courage of his convictions to get through anything that's in front of him to make that punch.
Yeah, but
yes.
Always we're massive. The parity at 1-1 didn't last long for Everton, though. It was Jared Bowen who got the goal. But I got to say, Antonio, I thought he had a really good game yesterday, and I know he didn't score. Do you give it as an assist?
Yes,
I don't know if it's technically, as far as the record books, if it goes down an assist, but certainly Antonio made the goal by forcing the save from Jordan Pickford. So I was really impressed with him yesterday.
It was a great run, Rob, for the goal. The pass, the run, I think he probably could have taken the shot on a little bit earlier. You know, I think maybe he took an extra touch, which slightly took it away from him, which gave Pickford, you know, a better chance of saving it. I do think he's knackered. I do think he's suffering from a bit of a crisis in confidence in front of goal. But I'm pleased to see that his work rate and his endeavour is still resulting in goals for West Ham. I mean, I watched a bit of the Sky Sports News this morning, and they were obviously very busy sucking off Harry Kane as is always that they do on Sky, but quite rightly so. Yesterday he got man of the match despite the fact that he didn't score. You know, I think he got 2 assists again yesterday, taking him up to, is it 12 for the season. I don't like the Harry Kane loving, but it was it was a fair fair set of comments for yesterday's game. But yeah, he needs a goal, Mickey. Mickey needs a goal. And it's
confidence,
coming,
isn't it?
It's coming, but I also think that, you know what, all the time he's still working hard. I know everyone bangs on about we need a striker to score goals, rada. You know what? Goals are coming from elsewhere at the minute.
Take care, Elliot.
Take it easy, Elliot. Goals are coming from elsewhere at the minute, and he's been part of the build-up play, the assists. You know, he's forced Pickford into a save that, as a goalkeeper, is quite a poor save because of where he's put it. He's put it back into the danger area, you know, and we've capitalised from that. If that had been Fabianski making that save, I'd be raging right now because he's put it back into the danger area, and we've discussed that. He made the punch against Brentford. Where did he put it? Straight in the danger area.
Yeah.
So yeah, I listen. Antonio is slightly unfortunate with that yesterday. But like I said, I think it was an extra touch. I think it's a confidence thing. I don't think he wanted to take the shot from a little bit further out. He's trying to get a little bit closer to, you know, to edge his bets a little bit. And you know, like I say, he's given Pickford the chance to get set, make a good save. But as Ken said there, a very good finish from Bowen, lifting it over the sliding defender. You know, really, really good finish from him.
Yeah. Okay.
And you could see he enjoyed it as well. You could see that meant a lot to him for that goal.
Oh yeah, I mean, sort of like, how long has he been out? A month, there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
So yeah, got a couple of comments that I've got held in reserve that a few of the people in the chat have got in. So let's get into it. So Duke, if Everton go down, who are you taking from them?
Based on yesterday's performance, no one. And I know 48 hours ago I said I'd take Richarlison and I'd take Calvert-Lewin on that performance on Sunday. I don't want either of them near my club.
No.
I really don't. I mean, the young lad came on, didn't he? Was it Godfrey? He came on.
He started. He was at centre-back.
No, who was the other one that came on then? Gordon. Was it Gordon?
Yeah. No, Anthony Gordon.
The blonde lad.
Yeah.
The one that decided the one that wanted to try and have a fight with Christian Eriksen a couple of weeks ago. That's it. He slightly impressed me. I'll be honest. He's still a young lad. He's still got a lot of development in front of him, and I think he could be a terrific player if Everton do go down and someone takes a punt on him. If he doesn't decide that being at Everton in the Championship's where he wants to be. But I quite like the look of him. I know someone made a comment. Antonio Arnautovic's Mark II in Richarlison. I can't remember who that was. It might have been Walshy. I'm not 100% sure. I can't go back and see the comments because I have none on this side. Yeah, but Van der Beek's a Man U player. I think there might. I think is it Eric Ten Hag that could be going there next season?
Apparently,
I think he'll probably keep Van der Beek there. I still don't know how. I did say I'd take Michael Keane, and I thought it was really nice of him to get sent off to make our life a little bit easier. But I wouldn't take any of them after watching that performance yesterday and being there, Rob, which does make a difference.
Yeah.
Being at the game to watching it on telly, because you actually get to see more of the game, especially where we were sat. You know, I was about 15 rows, 20 rows in front of you, I think it was, and
everyone's 20 rows in front of me.
Well, yeah, you can actually touch the fucking back wall, and sit on concrete steps if you want to. In fact, Robert, where you're sat is where I sat for the baseball game on
Is
the
it?
Sunday. Yeah, exactly where you're sat was where I sat
Block
for the baseball
203?
game on the Sunday. Yeah, right at the very back.
What a
Yeah,
coincidence.
for the Sunday baseball, that's where I was. You get to see more, and I have to say they were at 6s and 7s. I don't think that the back four, when we were attacking, I don't think they conversed. Their centre backs. I don't think there was any conversation between them. They were all over the gaff at points. And yeah, as someone put, Richarlison, evening. Richarlison, he at points was stropping around. I think Cressy bundled him over, and then I think he trod on his hand, which he decided to have some sort of.
I'll be honest. I think he was lucky to get away with that, Cresswell. I think he was lucky to stay on the pitch.
He got a yellow. He trod on his hand, didn't he? But that doesn't behave, Walshy. Don't rear it. But Richarlison's reaction as well, Rob, the way he got up, I think he went. Did he go nose to nose, forehead to forehead with someone? I'm not sure if it was Cressy he went nose to nose with, but they got booked. But then he carried that bullshit on in the box, which then meant he got the booking as well. I mean, listen, you see niggly bits of shit in a game, like full stop.
Yeah,
like,
it's a bit unnecessary at that point. I mean, the game was virtually done.
It was, but again, there are teams out there that do the dark arts really well, Rob. We're not one of them. Quite clearly, we're not one of them.
Yeah.
But the way Richarlison was rolling around, the way Richarlison jumped up all of a sudden, you know, fit as a fiddle, let me square up to anything that actually moves that's not wearing a blue shirt. You know, or whatever colour they were bloody wearing. So bored as a board I was with them yesterday.
It's white. They were wearing white.
But it was ridiculous. But again, Arnie Mark II, he's a bit of a bastard. You know, I could learn to love him. He's a Brazilian that has, you know, enough talent to be able to, you know, do a job. Would Moyes be able to smack the shit out of him if he came to us? Maybe. You know, but based on yesterday's performance, there's no one there that I'd be interested in.
Just on this comment that Kent makes, Everton look devoid of confidence, rudderless. It's a massive job from somebody to turn that ship around. And I do wonder, and I thought that when Frank Lampard went there, I actually said that I thought it actually could be a good move for both the player and the club. I got to say, it's looking a million miles away from that. I watched him. I don't know how closely you was watching him on the touchline, but he just sort of like every now and again he might have a little sort of, you know, protestation and whatever, but he just didn't look. He just looked like he was resigned to his fate. He looked
he's devoid of ideas, Rob. He's devoid of ideas.
Which, if I was an Everton fan, I'd be awfully worried about.
But then on the flip side of that, is it a situation where the Everton board have turned around and gone, well, you know what, if we go down, you know, Lampard did all right in the Championship. There's not a lot of money being thrown around at him. You know, Mike Reid, he was an actor, he played Frank Butcher. You mean Mike Dean? Possibly.
I think he means Mike Dean, yeah.
Ricky! Yeah. I don't know. I think he might be there as a reason that if they do go down, that he might, you know, he's a good bet to get them back up, isn't he?
He had an awful lot of money at Derby County and he didn't get them up.
Yeah, but then look at what happened with Derby County right now. I mean, if they're not, and I saw something. I think the Rams Rams page or something on Facebook have put out a they put out a tweet or a Facebook status that said something about protecting Derby as one of the founder clubs of the league. You know, I think he's responsible for that, though, Rob. Like you say, the amount of money he spent, Lampard is part of that situation now.
Yeah.
You know,
and there's a player that I look at, and of in their squad, and he didn't even take to the pitch yesterday. But I think it's this player that I'm about to mention kind of encapsulates the malaise that seems to have befell Everton Football Club, who I consider to be a great traditional, proper football club, proper fans. This is not a sort of a plastic club, if you will. This is a club with a great deal of pedigree and tradition. But look on the bench, Dele Alli. I mean, I wondered when he went there. Oh, could this be maybe
start a good relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it all seemed to be. Dele Alli was shaking Frank Lampard's hand, and they were both looking like very happy. And fantastic! You know, it's all milk and honey. But he's done nothing, absolutely nothing since he's gone there. And I would be very worried.
Is that also Lampard not using him, Rob? Again, we don't know what happens in training.
It must be something going on in training. He must be looking at him. I'm not being funny, but do you remember what was the thing they did on Prime with Tottenham? All or nothing.
Yeah.
And they documented it from the beginning of the season that was Poch's last, and then Mourinho coming in. And one of the first team talks, he said he basically turned around to Dele Alli and said, you know, you're basically a great player, but you're a lazy fucker.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that Frank Lampard must be looking at him and going, oh, this wasn't quite what I was expecting. Oh, no, you won't do for me.
But then you've got to have that conversation with Dele Alli. Because no one's going to take a punt on him, Rob. If that's the case, I mean, he should be walking into that Everton side. Again, he should be the one, you know, leading them from the front, kind of thing. You know, in that, you know, in the hole behind the striker, behind Calvert-Lewin, he should be assisting and getting goals galore in that Everton side. I just think, I'm looking at it, I think Lampard's clueless, mate. I really do, and I think they're bang in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I think that they were in trouble when he's gone in there. I mean, that's fairly clear to see. I'm not being funny, though. It didn't take Nostradamus to look at Everton when Rafa Benitez walked in the door. A manager who not only managed across at Stanley Park their cross-city rivals and won the Champions League with them, but actually said in an interview that Everton were, quotes unquote, a small club. Now, he was never ever going to come back from that. No. Ever. There was that the Everton fans were absolutely not going to accept him. It was a match made in hell right from the get-go. So it wasn't really a shock that what happened with him.
No.
But I think that when you're in the shit in the Premier League, you need to have a manager coming in who knows the terrain. Yeah. Now, with the best will in the world, when in his career, either in playing or managerially, when has Frank Lampard ever been involved in a relegation battle? He's got no idea of the terrain. He just hasn't. It's not a criticism; it's a fact.
Yeah, it's not even just a fact, mate. It's
Oh, hang on. What's the score now? No, I know they're 2-0 up. It's all right. The missus is a Spurs fan, so obviously she's taking great delight in the fact that Arsenal are getting
apparently 3 hours behind as well. Listen, he's not the sort of player that has an appetite for a fight either. Lampard.
Do you not think?
No.
I mean, he's got a will to win. Listen, I'm not being funny. You don't achieve what he's done in the game and not have a burning desire to make the very best of yourself. I'm not too sure about that. But
I mean, look at the players he's got there, though, Rob. I mean, they're devoid of any kind of interest in what they're doing. I looked at them yesterday. They looked disjointed. I looked at them yesterday. They looked probably to the point of they're now knackered. They've trod water for so long in using that kind of thing.
Kids are 3-0 up.
That they're now exhausted. They're struggling with this now. So I wouldn't be surprised if you watch them free fall in the last 8 to 10 games of the season.
Yeah. Let's just go. Let's have a little magnifying on this. So this is where we are. We did briefly go up to 5th, wasn't it? But then obviously Tottenham went and did what they did. We had a little bit of, because we was in the supporters club afterwards, weren't we?
Yeah.
When the free kick went in and Newcastle were 1-0 up and everybody was dancing and shouting and singing.
Tottenham get battered everywhere they go.
Yeah. It ended 5-1 to them. Ouch. They've got a game in hand on us as well. They're 3 points ahead. They've got a better goal difference. Arsenal, well, yeah, they're there on 28 games played. They're playing game 29 as we speak, but they're getting turned over.
I'm not looking above us. My concern is what's going on below us right now in Man U and Leicester. I can't see. Man U and Wolves. I can't see Leicester really catching us. I'll zoom out a bit. Are they 37 points?
Sorry, hang on a sec.
35, 37, 35.
Leicester 37, a -4 goal difference.
Yeah, and
so
they've only got
it's
only 3 games in them, which puts them on 46 if they win all 3. So that's still 5 points behind us if they get level with us, level on win their games and level. So I'm not concerned. It's the Man U and the Wolves that are there that are the concern. Man U are obviously level on points. We've got a better goal difference for the first time in probably about 37 years. There's a better goal difference in United at this stage in the season. And then obviously Wolves, they've played the same amount of games. It's so we can finish as 8th looks like it could be the lowest we'll finish this season.
Ordinarily, you wouldn't complain at.
Mate, I still won't be complaining this year.
And if we win the Europa League, who knows?
I mean, how often have you seen teams have a Premier League hangover from playing in Europe? They'll qualify for Europe, and then the following season they play Europe, and they just free fall through the league. We're not doing that. And we have the smallest squad in the Premier League. With regards to decent first team players, no disrespect to the kids or the likes of Mass and Yama, Nobes, they're fringe first team, aren't they? Let's not mess around. If we had anything else, then that's where they'd be. So 8th I'd be impressed with. 8th I would really be impressed with this season. If we can get through Lyon, was it Clinton Morrison said the other day, West Ham can beat Lyon. Over 2 legs. West Ham can beat Barcelona over 2 legs. There's nothing to stop them winning this tournament. In fact, Clinton Morrison actually went on to say, I make West Ham the favourites to win this tournament.
Okay.
And you know what? If we can trump Lyon over 2 legs and we go up against Barcelona and we turn up, show up, but we still lose, right? But we still lose against Barcelona in the semi-final of the Europa League. And if we lose to them, finish 8th, mate, I'd take that as a successful season. I would. There's no reason. Yeah, Lyon are 9th in Ligue 1 and everyone's going, we're like 6th in our league at the minute, 7th in our league, 6th. That's all well and good, but there's only 2 teams in French football that are worth a pot of piss in, which is PSG, obviously, with the oil money and Monaco, really. So there is a farmers league. It's a farmers league. There's nothing else in that league really apart from them two teams. The rest of them kind of battle it out a bit like the Scottish Premier League. You got the two, and then everyone else battles for whatever scraps they can pick up on. So we can beat them. I'm really confident we can beat them, and I think we'll prove that on Thursday. But yeah, listen, it was knocked out in the semi-final and finishing 8th with a very, very small squad. Mate, I'd be laughing. I'd take that all day long.
Yeah, fair. Should we do player ratings?
Go on then, knock yourself out.
Okay, let's go. Lucas Fabianski, the goalkeeper. What you thinking?
7.
No half marks.
7.
Talk to me. Your reasoning.
And
you guys in the live chat, get stuck into this, please.
Weak punch. I mean, like I say, if he's going to come and win, he's got to come and win. He came out, as I said to you in the bar afterwards. He came out to claim for that. They can. I agree with you, but I think we can still do them. I am confident. I mean, that's just the way it is. I think we're playing really well this season.
They did once upon a time dominate French football. I think they won about 7 leagues in a row. Mate,
I could take you, me, Owen, and George, pick up a load of other youngsters, and we could dominate French football. To be honest with you, he came out. He made that claim at the end of the game, which he got. I'll give him a 7. I like it, Andy. I like it.
No, round that up to a 7. I can't have 6.795. I'm sorry, Mr. Walsh. That's a 7. So you're going to give him a 7?
Yeah, 7 for me.
Okay. Well, we got Kent said he's 6. Walshy said 7. Pat's gone for 6. Sharky's gone 6. So, and we got Fab. Peter's gone A7. A7. Fair enough. And Mark's giving him a 7 as well. Okay. That is not good. Club allegiances to one side. I never wish an injury on a player. He's a very exciting young left back. So I hope that he's not as badly injured as what you're saying, Pete, but it is what it is. Wally's gone Fabianski 7 and Happy's gone 6. So everybody seems to be in agreement. He was around about a 6 or 7 out of 10 performance. But
Happy couldn't see him. She had someone tall standing in front of us, so she couldn't.
Probably someone of average height, if we're being honest. But everybody's tall compared to Happy. But
Grace was standing in front.
We love you, Happy. Don't worry. Size isn't everything. At least that's what I told a wife. Okay, so Ryan Fredericks.
7.
Okay, talk to me.
Again, I was slightly concerned him coming on. I was a little bit, antsy to see him start. But I think he did a good job with the 2 wide players there. I think someone said that Richarlison got the ump and moved over, which then meant that Gray came over. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even realise Gray was playing. I really didn't. I know they went down to 10 men, but at that point I thought they were down to 9 men. I didn't even realise that Gray was on the pitch at one point. It was embarrassing. No, 7 for Freddie.
Yeah, fair enough. Peter's gone a good 6.
A good 6, so
a
7.
Good 6. So yeah, possibly verging on a 7. Mr. Walsh has gone an 8. Who else have we got? Trodge says Fredericks saved 2 nailed on goals, but almost gave away a few too. Yeah, I mean the Richarlison one was actually a little bit of slack play from himself, but Fredericks he's given a 7. We've also got Pat who's given him a 7. Says he's the better defender than people give him credit for. I don't know. Is he?
He's a good defender. He's not a great defender.
I think that
he'd be a great championship defender.
He puts himself into awkward spots and he sometimes gets himself out of the ship because of his pace. If he didn't have the pace, he'd be, oh my goodness, just a calamity. Yeah. He'd be Arthur Masuaku, I think. So, but there you go. True. Sharky's given him a 6. Okay, you're sitting on the fence, are you, Wally? Come on, you can do it. Cool. Good things come in smaller packages. Happy says 6 first half, second half he was a 7. So come on, we're not marking him on per half. Happy, come on. What are you marking him for the match? Make a decision and stick with it. Kent says it's a 6. Great athlete, but not much of a football player. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it, to be fair. Mark has gone with 7 because he can't give half marks. Trodge, when Fred kicks it, no one knows where it will go. Sounds the same as Antonio, if we're being honest. Hammerhead says Fredericks is a 7. Was his crap control? Yep. He tried to control it and failed. Rob says should have been an 8, but with the mistakes, pulls him down to a 7. Yeah, exactly that, Rob. His pace digs him out of the brown stuff when he gets himself in it. Fredericks might be fast, but he worries the other players as much as us. Yeah, absolutely. No clean sheet. Spurs score. Fair. Okay, so we move over to the other side. Aaron Cresswell. Oh, hang on. No, she's gone a 6. She's gone a 6. All right. Thank you, Happy. Oh. So, Cresswell.
My man of the match.
Was he?
Yeah.
Your sound's bottomed out.
Mine?
Yeah, you sound like you got.
There we go.
There we go.
No, I'll give him. I'll give him a 9. No, an 8. Let me change that. I'll give him an 8. He's my man of the match. So, he could have ended the game with 2 goals. I think. Again, he's a player that I don't understand. Doesn't probably have more. I can't think of the word I'm trying to use here. No, it's gone. Pardon me. I just think he's a solid player. He commands that back 4. If you watch, when he plays,
just asking you not.
Shut up! I've done that. Behave yourself, woman. No, he commands that back 4 when he's there. He's always the one that's talking with the other 2 in the middle of making sure that the others. He was very close to getting his second without having a free kick. I just think he deserves a lot more plaudits than he actually gets. But for me, it was an 8, and it was man of the match.
Okay, fair enough. So just having a little look down here. Sharky's given him an 8. Happy's given him an 8. Trodge has given him an 8. There's a pattern forming here. However, no, that streak has been broken. 7 for Cress, but with the free kick, 8. So hang on. So you're giving him an 8 as well, then, Rob? Okay. You're giving him an 8 as well. All right, the streak carries on. But no, it's just been broken. Peter's given him a 6.
Oh, Peter, wow.
Harsh. Mark gives him an 8. Pat gives him an 8, says, but only for the goal. He nearly got sent off for nothing. Yeah, he has to lose a mark or 2 for that because that was completely needless. Kent says he's giving him an 8. Nearly a 9 for giving Ricky a kick. He comes at it from the other angle.
He does. I like it.
He's giving him, props for doing that. And the same as Walshy. Look at that. But if he'd have got a needless sending off, and even if it hadn't have cost us today, he gets sent off for perceived violent conduct. That's a 3-game ban. What? And we've then got to put Arthur Masuaku at left back, maybe?
Glenn Ben.
Yeah, possibly. But Hammerhead, you know the rules. I told Walshy off earlier because he gave who was it? He gave Fabianski 6.795 or whatever it was. So if you're giving him a 7.5, I'm rounding it up to an 8. That's the rules. Now, the man of the match in the stadium, Duke, was one Craig Dawson. You obviously don't agree with that because you've said already who your man of the match was, but talk to me about Craig Dawson.
I'll give him a 7.
Okay.
I think the average will be that throughout my thing. I think we were average in the middle of it. But I think that he was all right. He didn't. There was nothing in there that was outstanding. What's the matter with you?
I don't know if I've just accidentally put someone in a timeout.
I can't see, so I don't know.
If I've just put someone in a timeout, I've clicked and I that was a misclick. So I do apologise if I've just put someone in a timeout. I'm awfully sorry. If I haven't, then forget it. Oh God!
Happy did that the other day on West Ham Network. It was quite funny. I think it was during the
That is true, Sharky.
I think it was during the Julian Dix appreciation night, actually, that the West Ham Network did. But no, Dawson, again, a 7. He didn't do anything that was outstanding. He wasn't responsible for any shit, so basically that's where he is.
Fair. Pete says he's a good 8. Virgil van Dawson's a 7 for Mr. Walsh.
Thank you,
Trudge
Walshy.
says Dawson was the best defender and has given him an 8. Sharky has also given him an 8. Mr. Singleton, 7. He only lives down the road, doesn't he?
He does.
Is it Ingress Park? I think
something like that, mate. Yeah.
Who else have we got? He was even spraying diagonal passing. He was spraying, Duke. He was spraying. Craig Dawson was spraying. Who'd have thunk it? So, anyone else? Wally's come in with a 7. Says he made a couple of great crossfield passes. So he's agreeing with Trudge. Pat's given him an 8 because of no half marks. That's the rules, Pat. I'm sorry. Kent disagrees. We got people saying that he was spraying balls left, right, and centre, but Kent seems to think that his distribution was poor. So, and listen, that's not to say that one is right and one is wrong. It's just a difference of opinion. That's absolutely fine. Can't always be the perfect mod, Sharky. Yeah, I'm saying nothing. Craig Dawson has been given a 7 by Hammerhead. So there we go. Let's move to his defensive partner, Duke. Talk to me about Kurt Zuma.
7.
Okay.
Again, there was nothing there that was standout exceptional. There was nothing there that was a standout balls up. He just quietly got on with the job that was in front of him and did what he did, really. He was solid. He was stand up and did what he did.
So you're giving him a 7?
7.
Okay. Guys in the live chat, give me something to work with here. Pat's given him a 12. A 12. Okay. Well, that's a very solid score. It has to be said, Pat. When you're marking out of 10 and you give him a 12, bloody hell. Yeah. Kurt's got an 8 from Sharky. Pete says Zuma's an 8. Mr. Singleton says he's a 7. Did his job.
Yeah.
Happy says that Dawson was better than Zuma.
And I'm taller than you. So, I mean, what you got?
Walshy, 8.01. So that's an 8. Kent's going almost all the way. 9. Solid as a rock. Top centre back. Zuma did what he asked of him. 7. Yeah. Happy says 7-ish. And Trudge is giving him 7.5. What else have we got? Zuma rose up to make some great headers. 7. Did you see that as I was putting the tiles up earlier? Who won the most aerials? Thomas Souček, 9.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, he was busy.
Says a lot, though, from their balls out from defence that he's the one winning the most headers. And to be fair, if you're playing against teams that go in long ball, I'd expect him to win the headers, to be honest with you, because he is 28 foot tall. So,
yeah, fair. Okay, so we move into defensive mid. Let's go to Thomas Souček. What was your thoughts on him?
8.
Okay, interesting.
And I think, as you said there, when you come up against a team that are pretty much lumping and very going for a very aerial approach, you need players like Thomas Souček with his height to be winning those first balls. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't do a lot for you if you don't mop up the second.
Yeah.
But we did that quite well yesterday. Declan Rice in there as well. They mopped up a lot of the second balls, and I
covered him, Happy.
No, where were you? I said 7. So yourself out, girl. He's big Tom in the middle. We relied on him a bit yesterday, to win those headers. I'm not saying that Declan Rice in his position wouldn't have done. I'm not saying if Alex Crowell had been there, he might have got his sideshow Bob Perm on a few. But, it was good to see him in there. So he gets a slightly lower than Aaron Cresswell 8.
Okay. I actually, because I was on the Hammers Chat Patreon's player ratings, I gave him a 6. But when I realised he'd won as many aerials as that, I sort of thought, oh, actually, maybe he was maybe a little bit better than I gave him credit for originally. I didn't realise he'd won that many aerials, to be honest. 9 in a match is quite good going. So I might have to sort of rethink my assessment of him. But Peter's giving him a 0.7. I'm guessing that's just a 7. Or is it 0.7? I don't know. May well be.
Well, that'd be a 1 then.
Sharky's giving him a 7. Hammerhead says 8. Did a lot of the dirty work yesterday. Thomas Socek, 7 from Mr. Singleton. Mr. Walsh has given him a 6. Kent has given him an 8. Last few weeks he's been much better than the previous 6 weeks. Seems to have the reins took off him. Happy says she's giving Dawson an 8. And she's giving Thomas Socek a 7. Trodge has got in there with a 7 for Thomas Socek. But he says he couldn't get involved in periods. Fair enough. Okay, so the captain, Declan Rice.
7. Okay. Average. And to be fair, I don't know. Listen, we expect so much of this fella.
Yes, we do.
We do. And when he has what I considered to be yesterday, a slightly quieter game than he normally does.
Pat, look after yourself, mate. Stay safe.
On, man. When he has a slightly quieter game comparative to his own standards and the big games he has, it's noticeable. And I felt yesterday was one of those games. I'm not saying he was poor. I'm just saying he wasn't up to that normal Declan Rice standards that you have. So for me, it was a 7.
Okay, fair. I think I gave him a 7 as well. So yeah, not a million miles away. Mr. Walsh has given him a 7. Peter's given him a shaky 8. Okay. Mr. Singleton, a solid 7, but not quite an 8. And Rice did look tired, but still managed to produce a 7. So despite the fact he looked tired, still managed to give a decent mark. I mean, 7, I think, is a bloody good mark, to be fair. Kent says 7.55 average for Deck. And Rice has been given by Sharky a 7. Trodge says 6. Always struggles after the international break. And Budgie joins us. Greetings.
Budge.
Hope you are well.
I just want to say congratulations to Mr. Budge over at Green Street after what he announced yesterday. He has a new WhatsApp contact. He has a new Twitter fan and has someone going on to Green Street, hopefully in the very near future. Those of you who don't know, over on Green Street Elites, which is Budgie's channel, he's just managed to get Craig Forrest onto his WhatsApp. Got to get him in the chat group, mate. Get him into the chat group, and he's hopefully going to have Craig Forrest on his channel at some point. So, well done, Mr. Budge, and good to see you out of the hospital, mate. Glad you're all right.
Absolutely. All right, shall we do your mate?
If you want.
Saeed Ben Rama?
6.
6?
Would have been a 7.
I'm guessing the reason
he loses a half a mark each for the 2 that he pulls out of.
Oh,
and I know. Listen. I know that I'm going to get some stick. People thinking that I'm being harsh on him or whatever. I don't care. You're
doing it just to be contrary now,
no,
aren't you?
No. Listen, I said he had a very quiet first half, and it was a very quiet first half. He drifted in and out of. For periods, he was non-existent. Second half, when he was moved and they put Fornals into the middle, and they gave Benny essentially free rein on the left-hand side. I thought he was better in the second half. He came out, he looked like he wanted, and like I say, he pretty much went from a 5 first half to a second half 7. But then in those last 7 or 8 minutes, he pulled out 2 50-50s. And like I say, everyone around me went absolutely batshit, which kind of gives me a little bit more credence in the fact that the fans are beginning to turn against him for those ducking of them challenges, if you will. And it's a worry. It's a worry. Happy, you've got more chance of not committing in a 50-50 of getting injured than you are if you go in fully committed on a 50-50. I can tell you that because I played the game. I know that's. I mean, I've pulled out of a 50-50 when I was 12 and nearly broke my leg. So I've never pulled out of a 50-50 since. I'm going to break the other guy's leg before I break mine. But yeah, like I say, very, very much improved second half from Ben Rama. Very much improved second half when they moved him out to the left, gave him the opportunity to come in on that right foot to have a ping. So, you know, but yeah, he loses a couple of extra points or a point for the pulling out of the challenges for me.
Fair enough. Let's just rewind and see who's giving what to Mr. Ben Rama. Well, Happy says he was a 7. Mr. Singleton's giving him a 6. Trodge says 7. Benny, if he could shoot, he would get 8.
Yeah.
Pete's gone. I feel Ben Rama deserves a good 6. Saudi 7. Sharky's giving him a 6. Trodge says he thinks that he's earned his spot for Lyon. Incredible defensive work. And has given him,
0.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're giving him a 0, Trodge, surely that can't.
Yeah,
be.
listen, Trudge. When he came off, I saw Nolan go up to him. There was. I think Nolan's had a lot to do with Moyes and his handling of Ben Rama when he brings him off. There seems to be a lot more hugs, high fives, you know, the embracing side of it, because obviously that's what Benny thrives on. And obviously he needs that arm around the shoulder, you know, loving feeling kind of thing. But again, it's irritating. It's irritating because, you know, he could be and at the moment he's only being, in my mind, and probably a few thousand others after where we were sat yesterday and hearing the reactions, it's only being remembered for pulling out of challenges, and it's getting people's goat.
Fair. Well, Kent's in agreement with you. He's given him 5. Said he was wasteful and bottled 2 tackles. Jumped.
Yeah,
Mr.
Jumped away from them, Rob. That's what he's saying. Jumped away from them.
Yep. Walshy's gone 7. Better game than usual, but does his nutting when he pulls out a 50-50 balls. Yeah, Trod says, look at Nolan and Moyes' reaction when he came off. They thought he did good. Yep, fair enough. Mr. Singleton says he needs to give 100% though. I won't try catching up, says Budgie, but he's given Ben Rama a 6. Happy says she might change her mind and give Ben Rama a 10. But Trodge does say the bottle job thing spoilt it at the end. That was a sod it, fair enough. Trodge says, but the time he chased one who passed it off, he kept going and then won a tackle on that guy and won the throw. This is not the old Benny. Well, yeah, it's fair. Someone blocking your view. Well, that's usually the way with Happy.
The back of the chair. Just the back of the chair in front was blocking her view, yeah.
Brew says Benny has improved massively in the last 5 to 6 games defensively, a lot better, and finds space more and looks for the ball, and says a bit more confidence. I think that's what we all notice. And Happy comes back at Rob and says, have you seen the size of Crocs?
I'm hoping you talk about my height there, Happy.
Yeah. And Budgie says he's name dropping now. Look at this. Craig Forrest said that Cresswell's goal was one of the best he's seen in a long time. But I bet you any money, Budgie, I bet you any money in a private conversation, he'd probably turn around and say, but I'd have saved it.
Oh, hang on. I like it, Rob. I like it.
He would have done. He'd have said, yeah, it was a great goal, good hit. But you know what? If I was in goal, I think I'd have got across and I'd have got a fingertip to him, pushed it away for the corner.
In answer to Andy's question there, yes, against Newcastle.
The first game of the season.
I thought it was unplayable first game of the season. And I thought, here we go, this is going to be good. And it's just never materialised.
I don't know about never. I think that's a bit unfair. But hey, listen, we could argue this one back and forth, but
we more than likely will do.
Yeah. Well, we do, but
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we won't bore the others with this. Pablo Fornals.
7.
7. Okay.
Again, did his job. He again did a lot of the donkey work, coming back, trying to win the ball. Our pressing game is quite poor, I've got to say, up top. No, Newcastle.
Newcastle was the first game. Leicester was.
Andy, Jazz, Jake, a lot of guys went to that. You weren't there though, Rob, were you?
No, I was down in Cornwall. I got offered a ticket.
But... you were down there. Yeah. It does a lot of the donkey work. Our pressing game isn't the best, but
see you, Walshy.
Take it easy, buddy. He does try. And he does try to put the press on him and Antonio. But then people just don't. The rest of our team don't get close enough to cause them an issue when we're doing the press. So our press isn't great, but Fornals does try to do it more often than not. But 9 times out of 10, it's either him or it's just him and Antonio, and then they've got another 2 defenders to be able to play their way out. But yesterday, I think Fornals did a lot of that again. Yesterday, he was the only one trying to get the press going. 7 for me.
Yep, fair enough. Well, Peter's giving him a good 7. Mr. Singleton agrees with that. Solid 7. Sharky downgrades him a little bit, gives him a 6. And Hammerette gives him a 7. Budgie says Fornals gets an 8. Wow. Pablo 7. Wasteful but nice pass for Antonio. Fornals steady Eddie 7. Very good pass to Antonio early. I was at Newcastle away. A must-do away game if you get the chance. It's a long way up though. I saw the footage that Milesy and Jazz kicked back, and it looks a long way up.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, then again, I'm used to that, aren't I? So
yeah, any higher, you'll be able to touch God's left bollock.
Thank you very much. I thought the game passed Pablo Fornals by a little bit, to be honest. I know he had the pass for the Antonio, the run that led to the Jared Bowen goal, but I thought he did precious little else myself. But
I spent a lot of time watching Fornals yesterday off the ball when we didn't have the ball, and he covered a lot of ground to try and pick up runners. He covered a lot of ground trying to cut out passes. Done a lot of movement, covering space and everything else. So I do like. I'm a big fan of Fornals. I'm certainly a big fan of the way Fornals now does a lot of grunt work, a lot of donkey work, a lot of the dirty work no one else wants to do, and I've got a lot of time for that.
Kieran,
Ernie.
Let's go to Mr. Bowen, whose goal obviously separated the 2 teams at London Stadium yesterday. What did you give him on his return to the first team action?
An 8. He gave us something we were lacking, and it's movement off the ball. And for me, we don't tend to do a great deal of it when he's not about. There were several times yesterday when he had the ball and there was no movement, Rob, even around him. No one busting a bollock to get into space. There was none of it, and it winds me up because when Rice or Souček have the ball, or even Benny when he was in the middle of the pitch during the first half, Bowen was always on the move. Bowen was always, busting a bollock to get into space, make himself available for a pass. The others just kind of were dawdling around, and we've missed that. We've missed that from Bowen over the last few games, And now he's back. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought maybe we'd left him on for 10. Shout out, woman. We're talking. I think we left him on 10 minutes too long. I think I would have taken him off on the 60th, maybe 65th minute. because I just think that, he's been out for a while, that injury. We've got 2 very big games coming up, over the course of 7 days that we need him available for. But again, that being said, he showed a hell of a lot of commitment and a hell of a lot of desire, drive, and all the rest of it. So, no, for me, he gets an 8 and probably just misses out on the man of the match performance.
Yeah, no, he was my man of the match. I marked him as an 8, but mine was sort of like an 8 with a capital E, if that makes sense. And the tiebreaker was who else? There was another player or 2 other players that I also gave an 8, but the tiebreak was the fact he got the goal that decided the contest. Yeah. So I gave it to him, and also it was his first game back. Possibly didn't quite have the stamina in his legs as a result of a lack of match fitness, match sharpness, and all the rest of it, but managed to be the difference on the day. Budgie's given him an 8. Sharky also gives him an 8. Happy gives him an 8. Trodge gives him an 8. Kent gives him 8, but verging on a 9. And Trodge also makes the point if he keeps on scoring, he will get Hammer of the Year.
I think he's
quite possibly. Bowen 7 from Peter. Happy says a lot of bollock busting going on here. Mr. Singleton says he gives him a 7 for the goal. 8. Douglas, hope you are well, my friend. For those of you that are not aware, please check out the Dugout Football channel on YouTube. Douglas, a really good guy. He's a Liverpool fan. We know he's not West Ham, but he's a good guy. So please, if you haven't, have a look for his YouTube channel. As it says there, the Dugout Football channel. Just put that into the search bar on YouTube. And give him a subscribe and hit that bell icon. And then when he goes live, ding, you'll be notified and you can have a look and see what he's up to. Smug, see if we can do the boats too. Yep, no, that's fair enough. Happy, we'll get onto that. Hammerhead says Pablito gets a 7 from him. Did some dirty work again yesterday. He's gone back a pace and he's given Bowen a 7. Gives back to himself. Good to see. So, by my reckoning, that leaves 1 outfield player left of the starting 11, and that's Mr. Antonio. 7.
Again, I just think he's lacking in significant amounts of confidence, Rob. I also
second guessing himself, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he is. As I say, for the Bowen goal, he kind of broke through on goal, and the confidence just wasn't there. The early season Antonio, the first 10 games. He was smashing them in for fun. He was taking the shots early; they were going in. Antonio of recent games, recently he's getting better. His performances are getting better and not being rewarded with the goals that he should be getting. But as I said, Tottenham scored 5 yesterday. Harry Kane doesn't score any, but still picks up a man of the match performance because of everything else he did. Well, Antonio's trying to do that. Antonio is trying to do that. He's trying to make things happen, and obviously he set up Bowen's goal, although it was albeit from a save, he still set the goal up. Some good runs, some good off the ball movement in the box, in that, not necessarily the final third, but probably the final 8 inches. I think he needs that goal to be able to push on, really, and I'm hoping that'll come against Leon.
Yeah, that'd be a good time for it to click into gear, wouldn't it? Peter's given him an 8. Says he took a good few knocks, and he did, but he gave as good as he got.
His hold-up play was exceptional as well. When that ball was coming out of defence, be it on a clearance, be it on a long ball, or even be it a bus into feet, his hold-up play was exceptional yesterday. And yeah, he did draw a lot of fouls. Yeah,
absolutely. Happy says 7. Robert says 7. Sharky's giving him an 8. He says he needs a goal though. Trodge 8, man of the match. Shame he isn't clinical, but Pickford is strong at 1-on-1s. Kent says 6 for Antonio. Wrong decision. Poor finishing. He's a Carlton Cole. Must finish on instinct. Hammerhead, does that count as an assist from Antonio? I'm not entirely sure if it does for the official records. In fact, if I look on what I've got in front of me, the timeline does suggest that there was no assist that's gone down for Jared Bowen's goal. Just one of those things, isn't it? But he certainly played a key part in it if he doesn't get an assist. But he goes on to say that he gets an 8. Brilliant movement from Antonio. And Budgie gives him an 8 as well. Sharky says he was causing Everton all manner of problems. That is true. And he got someone sent off, says Trodge. But Kent says that he hits the deck too easy. Do you agree with that one?
Yes, we saw that a few times in the game before the international break. I did say that he does throw himself to the ground a little bit too easy at times. I agree with Trodge there. Trodge, I think some of that might be the fact that he does go to the ground a bit too easy at times, and the referees are kind of wising up a bit. But now he's learning, and he is standing up. He did go down a couple of times a bit easy yesterday, and you scream for the free kick, but I'm also looking at it from a take me rose tinted glasses off, me West Ham coloured, glasses off, and he does go to ground far too easy for a man of his size.
Antonio is Emil Heskey.
Yeah.
Fair. So let's give Mr. Moyes a mark then, Duke. What did you think? Did he pick the right team formation? Got the win?
7. I'm going to give him a 7. Okay. I think again, it didn't do anything wrong, Rob, but against a superior side or a different side, that could have gone wrong. So it's that he's done the job against Everton, but there was nothing flash and fancy about it. He got it right. We got lucky. If Keane hadn't been sent off, would it have been a slightly different scenario, slightly different outcome? Possibly.
The 2 yellow cards were correct.
Massively, yes. I mean, the second one was actually a tackle from behind. I actually thought it was going to be a straight red at one point because although Antonio had his back to goal, the challenge came in from behind that took him out. I actually thought it was going to be a straight red, and I actually forgot he got booked in the first half. So I was up in arms that the prick hadn't been sent off. When I saw the yellow card being given, I was like, rah, 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 rah. And then I saw the red card come. I went, oh, hey, like you do. Grace was like, you're all right. I was like, no.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, what have we got in the chat? Sharky's given Moyes a 7. Budgie's given him a 7, agrees with you. Rob Singleton says 7 for Moyes, says he was average. Okay. Happy says, aside from injuries, would have changed the goalkeeper, 7. Trodge says, Antonio did about 5 or 6 lovely turns in this game. Fair enough. The atmosphere decent, or was it quiet?
I have to say, I
had its moments.
I mean, listen, there was one point about 20 minutes into the first half, and I actually heard the Everton fans sing "Your support is fucking shit."
Yeah,
and even I sat there, looked at Grace, and went, "They might have a point." Because for large chunks of the game, I did tell Grace that the Everton fans are quite boring because they have one song and it goes Everton, 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 and I was like, Jesus Christ, come up with something new. We are. It's boring. But for long periods of time, that was all I could hear. There were a few renditions of Bubbles, but nothing really did take off. So yeah, I'd say it was quite.
There were periods, weren't there? Yeah. No, that's fair. But I gave him an 8. The only thing that I would have liked to have seen, he only utilised 2 subs.
Again,
I would have quite liked to have seen maybe Kufal get 15 minutes or so under his belt.
Someone did say that earlier.
Yeah, it would, just sort of Fredericks off, Kufal on, so you don't have to change shape. You're just, right back for a right back. Give him the last 15 minutes or so. So that way, if Ben Johnson isn't recovered in time for the Lyon game, at least Kufal's got a little bit of match practice under his belt ahead of the main event on Thursday, when I'm hoping the atmosphere won't be as quiet as what it was at points yesterday.
Well, as I said,
exactly what Sharky says there.
I've got some big bits to be dealing with on Thursday. So yeah, my baseball opening game of the season, Red Sox against Yankees, which is a big. It's a big.
Hopefully, it's not that we're pissed.
Hopefully. So I've got a big game for that. That starts at 6. That'll be on one telly because that'll obviously overrun the West Ham game, and then West Ham on telly at 8 o'clock as well. So I'll have to hopefully I'll be pissed by the time the West Ham game kicks off, and then I can go woggle eye and look at 2 different tellies, so I can keep an eye on what's going on. Sharky, leave off. It's not rounders. It's a smaller ball, and it goes a lot faster.
Fair. I'm saying nothing.
Yes.
Hello, Palace.
Oh, looks like Palace have got a penalty, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. My wife obviously is brokenhearted by that, being the Spurs fan that she is. But
can we stop giving her credence on our channel being a spud? There's no need for it.
You know, like I say, I can't cook. She's a qualified chef. What can you do? Duke, read the banner, please.
Please don't forget to like, comment. Oh, I can't even. Guys, look, right. This is Rob's bit. I don't do this shit. We've discussed this, but you know, like
you got to do it every now and again.
I don't have to. That's what I got you for. Organ grinder, monkey, right? But do what it says. That banner there, look. It like, comment.
That one there.
That one there, yeah. But write some comments after the videos. Like it's all. I don't mind. I like the live chat, but when we go back and we look and we have very few comments afterwards on the on the streams. I know we do, but me and Rob prefer the live streams because we like the chat. This is why me and Rob do more of the this is why thank you. This is why we do the lives, because we like the interaction with everyone as well. But yeah, chuck some on there. And if you know of anyone that obviously doesn't follow us, I must admit, I forgot to tell you yesterday, Rob. I had a couple come into the pub on Saturday night, and he came up to the bar and he asked if I was the West Ham fan, because obviously I've got the badge behind the bar. I said, yeah, I am. And I noticed the T-shirt he was wearing, and it was a claret. All right. It was a claret T-shirt, polo shirt with some sky blue piping.
No, you're not sorry. No. She's not sorry. Don't believe a word of it.
Sky blue piping, and then I noticed the crossed irons on the right hand side of the chest, and I was like, "Oh, you're a West Ham boy." And then he went, "Used to be part of the firm." He's like, "What?"
Okay.
I'll be round in a minute. Joe, get on the bar. I'm off. I'll see you later on. And he told me some stories. Told him I do YouTube. His missus proceeded to get the iPad out of her bag, logged onto YouTube, and gave us a follow. Hey. And he said he'll be back. He'd like to do a bit with us for the channel.
Why not?
Talking about some of the old days, hanging out with Bill and Cass and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was actually quite cool to have that moment of the guy coming in and like wanting to talk to me more than anything else as well. You know, again, they only live up the road, and he thought he was going to be one of a small minority of hammers in bandit country, as he put it. So yeah. Quite
Love
cool.
it.
So we've got a new subscriber from that. But yeah, as I was saying, guys, if you guys know of any West Ham fans that haven't subscribed, or chuck them in our direction, get them to like and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, share this onto your social media, because I'm sure everybody that's watching this has got a Twitter or a Facebook or an Instagram.
Rob? Because I can't see now.
12 at the minute.
Hit the like button, people. Come on.
Hit the like button, but do us a favour. Share this stream onto your social media platforms and ask your followers to give us a subscribe. Every little helps, as the advert says.
It does. And, listen, as much as me and Rob enjoy doing it, we only do it because you guys are out there. If you guys aren't out there, we're talking to no one.
We were once upon a time.
To be fair, I mean, I've just clicked onto YouTube. Once we're finished, guys, if you want to jump over onto West Ham Random, our delightful, lovely Canadian whirlwind currently is live.
Is he?
Yeah, he only has one person watching according to YouTube.
Oh no.
I think we should all get over there and have a little you know, have a little chat. But also, guys, hello, that's volume on YouTube. Do me a favour though, guys.
It's not a demand; it's a request, Trog. It's a request.
I said please. You got
Budgie, please.
You got Budgie in the chat from from Green Street Elites. Go give him a follow. Let's all get out there and help all of these these other YouTube channels. There are.
Cheers, Pete.
Cheers, Pete. Take care, buddy. There are a lot of us out there.
Exactly that shit. Do it now.
No, go to the chopper. But yeah, get out there and like and comment on everyone's, because everyone, they all do a lot of hard work. I mean, I didn't realise just how much hard work that this actually is. And bearing in mind, I just rock up 9 times out of 10 and go, hi, this man next to me, this side, him. He does a lot of the work behind the scenes that keeps his channel going. So yeah, it's if we do it because of you guys. Can you leave off, woman, please?
Yeah, it's fine. It's water off a duck's ass. Don't worry about it. But no, like I say, if you can put this stream onto your social media platforms, you just ask your followers to give us a subscribe. That would be absolutely immense. And it's exactly what Duke says. Listen. All the West Ham fan YouTube channels, we've all got different opinions. I mean, Duke and I have got different opinions. We don't agree on every subject. I think Benny's a decent player. He thinks he's shit. But I couldn't resist, Duke. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I say nothing.
But no, we all agree on certain things. We all disagree on certain things. The one thing we all agree on is our love for West Ham United. So if there's a West Ham channel there, you've got plenty. You've got exactly what Duke said. He's mentioned 2 of them there, West Ham Random and Green Street Elite. There's many more. There's West Ham Reunited. There's Hammers Chat. There's West Ham Fan TV. There's the Free Hammers. I mean, there's so many.
Zone TV as well.
E20 Zone TV.
Zone TV.
E20 Zone TV. If you want to give James a subscribe, give him a subscribe. Who else got the West Ham Irons channel? There's so many. I mean, so many.
Jazz has got his own
from
channel.
The Anvil,
West Ham Unofficial. There are
West Ham Unofficial. Yep.
There are literally probably near enough 100 West Ham channels.
Most of you probably are subscribed to virtually all of them, but if you're not, just click the button.
Listen, even at its best,
Hammers Fans United, yes, exactly. Another one. I mean, there's so many.
Something to watch while you're having a dump on the toilet in the morning.
Yeah.
Waste a few minutes of your life whilst having a banging shit first thing in the morning, or sitting down.
First one's always the best one, isn't it?
It is, without a doubt. Or even when you're sitting down with your first cup of coffee or cup of tea. Chuck a channel on. I'll be honest with you.
You don't sit on the dump station with a cup of tea in your hand, do you?
Oh, no.
Oh, that's all right. I was worried.
No, but when I go downstairs in the morning, I kick the missus out the door. Not this week, obviously with the kids off school. But when I kick the missus and the kids on the school run first thing in the morning,
you kick the missus on the school run.
Kick her out the door on the school run.
Okay.
The laptop gets linked up to one of the TVs downstairs in the pub, and I start having a quick search through a couple of videos that I've not seen. Hammers Chat, like I say, Gio and Gonzo, or whatever Budger's put on. I'm still waiting for my 3-hour show to go out yet. That's still, I think he's trying to edit it down to get it. Might have to do it in 3 parts. But yeah, I do. I watch all the channels. I watch absolutely American Hammers. You got Katie K. You got all of those channels out there, so it's definitely worth. Like I say, just even if you put it on in the background, it gives them a little view. You might pick up something, you find something you quite like.
I'm gonna, if I go down,
all right,
the subscriptions that we've got on the YouTube, we've got West Ham Random.
Yes.
We've got the Dugout Football channel, which is, as I say, it's a Liverpool fan channel. But they're friends of the channel, so please give them a a look. Almighty Blues FC, again, Chelsea channel, but a friend of the channel. Leicester Till I Die, you know, Chris, he comes on, he has a chat.
don't like
West
Chris.
Ham Network, and Anton and Russ. You've got Claret
West
and
Ham
Booze.
Voice.
Yep, West Ham Voice, Hammers Chat, Hammers Fans United, West Ham Unofficial, West Ham Reunited, Sweet and Sour Soccer. Now they're a sort of like a generic football channel, but they're sort of like their leanings are towards Wolverhampton Wanderers, but they're a couple of good lads. Green Street Elite, Budgie, West Ham fan channel, The Three Hammers, We Are West Ham podcast. Here's another one that you might not be aware, and this might not even interest you, but give him a subscribe, help him out. Gonzo of Hammers Chat has got his own YouTube channel, Pinball. It's called Gonzo's Pinball Flipperama. Go and give him a subscribe. West Ham Fan TV, Turf Morehouse. Dan, he's a Burnley fan. We're hopefully going to get him on when we've got the Burnley game in a couple of weeks. Let's Talk Sport. Again, this is a generic channel, mainly centered on American sports like Duke baseball, basketball, American football, But again, give them a subscribe. The 1892 Reds podcast, JPWHU TV, Match Day Vlogs, American Hammers, City Fan TV, From the Anvil. The list goes on and on. Pride of Villa. I'm sorry. I actually like this guy, Tommy, but he's got his own channel. I'm sorry, guys. It's Tommy Talks Ball. But he's a lovely guy. So if you give him a follow, you don't have to watch it. Just give him a subscribe, and every now and again, just give his streams a like. Euro Expert, Bees TV, Come 1980, Come as in KUMB, Knees Up Mother Brown, 1997. Rising Hammers, they put a lot of stuff out there with the kids teams. So, there's so many here that, please give them your support. 5 Pints In with Ian Bishop. How could I forget that one? 5 Pints In with Ian Bishop. That's a right laugh. He usually does it with his 2 sons.
TDT. Disabled team.
Yeah, disabled team.
So, guys, yeah.
Listen, I could sit here and I could go on for the next 20 minutes and pick out so many different channels. There's so many channels out there that have a look, give them a subscribe, and yeah, I mean,
Claret and Booze.
There's always Claret and Booze. I forgot to tell you, Nick's been in touch and he wants to get us on his channel at some point. So
I'm down for that, my man. I'm down for that.
So anyway, what's this? Don't go on the football terrace, it's garbage. Don't know that one.
Don't know that one. Yeah.
But there you go. But guys, as I say, share the love. There's plenty out there. Give it a look. And as I say, different perspectives are always a good thing. Anyway, I've been rambling on for long enough. I'm going to bugger off now. Duke, what are we?
Massive. Absolutely fucking massive.
Yep. On the charge to European football.
And I'll see you Wednesday.
You will. Come on, you Irons.